question 3 for January 2019, right? Economics. 4EC0111. So we have a case study here. Ecuador, the annual general growth, annual growth rate, the GDP of Ecuador. So we have the case study. So it's there. Going to the question, identify which stage of the economic cycle Ecuador experienced during 2010 and during 2016. We're talking about the economic cycle. We're talking about the stages of the economy, which is from either the boom, recession, recovery, and back to boom. After recovery, it goes back to boom. Okay. So basically, when we look at the case study of Ecuador, from 2009, because it's about 2010 anyway, but from 2009, Ecuador was in negative 2% in 2009. Going to 2010, from 2009 to 2010, Ecuador witnesses a growth in its GDP from minus 2% to 8%. So that will represent boom for Ecuador. So from minus 2% to in 2009 to 8% in 2010 represents a boom. I think that point is clear. That's boom. Then in 2016, going back to 2016 from 2015, from 2015 it was a negative GDP, and all through 2016 was negative GDP. So that means there was a negative an economic decline for 2 quarters, which means it represents recession. So there's recession in 2016 and there's boom in 2010. Clear? We'll go to question 3, Roman figure 2. By the end of 2017, economic growth in Ecuador was increasing rapidly. Explain 2 advantages of economic growth. First, what is economic growth? Economic growth represents an increase in a country's output. That means an increase in a country's GDP. That's economic growth. So what are the advantages of economic growth? The first one I wrote is about increase in household income, and the second one is about increase in tax revenue. So let's talk about increase in household income. As soon as the economy grows, it means employment opportunity would have arrived as a result of that. And increasing employment opportunity will bring about increase in income of households. And increase in income for households allows them to buy more goods and services than what they used to buy. So that's the first point there. And the second one is about increase in tax revenue. Tax revenue will come. What is a tax? We said it's a levy a levy imposed by government in consumption of goods and production of goods or services. So as soon as the economy is growing, it means income taxes such as income taxes and corporation tax would also increase for government, because households will have more to spend. So that means government might have as well make more from VAT, value-added tax, or income tax, which is value-added tax is an example of indirect tax anyway. But because consumption is increasing, that means value-added tax would have increased for government. Because income level has increased based on economic growth, it means income tax would have increased for government. Do you get my point? And for the fact that income is spending is increasing within the economy, firms will also be making more, and that means firms will be witnessing profit. Corporation tax will also increase for government. So government will be witnessing an increase in its revenue, which might be used, on healthcare, on spending on healthcare, education, or infrastructure. So these are the benefits of economic growth. I think it's clear. That's about economic growth. Then we move on to question 3. One disadvantage of economic growth is pollution and environmental damage. Ecuador uses an environmental tax on vehicle pollution to reduce pollution caused by motor vehicles. Taxation is the best way for the government to protect the environment. Do you agree with this statement? I support and I oppose anyway. So first, you have to define what taxation is. So what is taxation? Taxation is a levy imposed by government in the production and consumption of goods and services. That is what taxation is. So taxation is the best way to reduce pollution caused by motor vehicle based on the following reason. 1, it increases cost of polluting activities. So if government imposes more tax or increases taxes, it means the cost of producing those pollution would reduce. And if that happens, pollution would reduce. Do you get my point? So, and it increases the cost of polluting activities as a result, bringing about a fall in polluting activities, which means reduction in environmental damage. So if taxes are imposed by government, it increases the cost of polluting the air or causing environmental damage. So because you incur more cost, you wouldn't have any other choice than to reduce, because when you incur more cost, it reduces your profit. Yes, but you want to be more profitable, right? So what will you have to do? You need to reduce polluting the air, pollution or environmental damage. So if pollution is reduced, then environmental damage would also reduce.
Yeah.
That's about using taxation. But however, taxation might not be the best way in the following reasons. Why? One, it might not affect the richer people, because the rich people, they have the ability to pay these taxes, and that means they might continue to cause pollution, and that will increase environmental damage. Two, increase in such tax consumption it's consumption. Increase in such tax is it's a regressive tax, because it's an indirect tax, and it only affects those who are not rich. Do you understand? Value-added tax, like taxes on consumption, does not have any weight on those that are rich. It only affects those that are not rich. So it means you are going to take more from the low income earner than the rich income earner, which makes it regressive.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why taxation might not be used. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And I also made another point. I wrote, if polluting activity is priced now, if the polluting activities are price inelastic, so that means whatever prices they charge, they will continue to pollute it, because to them it is price inelastic. And when it is price inelastic, it means no matter what the price is, consumption would not stop. So that means polluting activities will not stop, because the price of pollution is inevitable. Do you understand? The price is inelastic. So that means no matter what the price is, they will still pollute it. Polluting activities will not stop. So that means taxes might not be useful there. Other policies might be useful. Is it clear? That's about growth and taxation. Any question about it?